Hey guys, Mike from Boyer Bows here. Okay, so what we got going on today is we're going to bend a little Osage. What I've got is a roughed out small Osage stave. And as you can see, it's got quite the bend in it. It's well, at the moment that the limb in the distance is obviously leaning pretty severely to the right, at least in this view, but it also has a lot of twist in it. And you know, I held up some of these things before and people were like, hey, there's not that much twist in it. Well, let's show you a good way to establish twist. You lay one end on a flat surface. In this case, I'm using my car. Just, you know, the idea is just to get it flat so that you think that this is, sorry, that was a quick movement for the camera there, sorry about that, but so that is pretty flat right now. Sorry, finger in the way. Pretty flat, no twist there. So just hold it into perspective. Now we're going to come another whoop dip, and you can't, I don't know if you can, alright, flat, coming here, see, it's about almost, now let me see if I can hit it from another angle here, guys. Alright, that might be better. Okay, so flat, and then you can see the limb is almost 45 degrees twisted this way. I mean, it's ridiculously twisted, and that's what we're going to get rid of. And if you look down the limb again, maybe this is a good angle. Well, hopefully that's coming through on the camera. I mean, you look at it with your naked eyes and it's severe. Maybe if can you see it now? I'll have to watch this video and see. I'll keep this a little more on the flat end there, and you can just see, and a lot of the twist is starting pretty much right in the area, right in this area here, right off the fade. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you again. I've done videos on twist and bend and bending Osage before, but I'm titling this one Bending Osage so that it'll be a quick reference point for everyone who might be interested in such a thing. So let's take a moment's pause and we'll go over to the vise and we'll get it done. I'll show you how I do it. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to take the twist out of this, and I'm taking the twist out first because sometimes when you take the twist out, the lateral bend might have been reduced. I don't want to take all the lateral bend out first, then untwist it and have it going the wrong direction the other way, bending the other way. So this is the twist part, and this is my old twist setup. I have we want to bring this limb that's twisted this direction and bring it back this direction. So what I have is the crescent wrench attached to a weighted bucket. Pretty much just got a bunch of C-clamps in here, and it's already, you can see it's starting to want to twist it, but it won't hold yet. The way we get it to hold is I have a paper towel with some oil on it, and I'm just going to oil up the limb here. This is going to help protect the limb a little bit from the heat that I'm going to be using now. And now you can steam it out if you want. Steam works terrific, but I like to use oil, a little surface oil and some dry heat with my heat gun, especially when it comes to Osage, because Osage bends so easily. You don't need to do much to it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it going. I'm going to heat up the whole thing, sides, underneath, the whole shooting match until this thing is bent at least a little bit beyond where I would want it to be, because then even when I take this off, it's going to come back a little bit. So I'm going to get this part bent to flat, and then we're going to reassess and see if we need to take any more twist out of this area. So I'm just going to slowly heat this up. It's going to take a minute or two to do it, and then I'm going to turn the heat off and just let it cool. When it cools off, I will then take the weight off of the limb, and hopefully we'll see how much improvement we have in the process. This is seems to be a lot less dangerous to the wood than it is when you're putting a recurve in it. You're not, you know, I'm just twisting the wood. I'm not really in danger of it, you know, lifting a splinter and it rupturing. So this is a relatively safe. I mean, you don't want to go too crazy, but it's relatively safe in the grand scheme of things when it comes to bending wood. Alright, so I'm not going to make you watch this whole thing, because I mean, that's a long, it's going to take, you know, 5 or 10 minutes, but I'll come back to it once we get it going, and all that kind of good stuff. So, alright, this is taking the twist out of the limb of Osage, bending Osage. We'll see in a minute. Okay, we're still in the process of bending the limb, but now you can see that this limb has gone from being in this direction here, and now it is twisting just past, parallel to the ground, and it's just past that. Sorry, I didn't even have it close. It's just gone past that to here, so it's a lot better in relation to the rest of the bow. The thing is, I'm noticing is that this portion of the limb up here still got a significant amount of twist to it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the wrench up to this portion of the limb and repeat the process and try to. This is very thick still. It's going to take a lot to get this part to move. So I'm going to try to get a little bit of it out. I'm going to wait for this area down here to cool off first. Once that's cool, we're going to see where we're at, and then I'll make a decision about up here. But we may be ready to move on to the next portion of the show, which is getting the lateral bend out. The twisting did not get rid of all of the lateral bend, but it did reduce it to a degree. So I will be back with that video in a minute. In the meantime, I'll wait for this to cool off, and we'll do a final video on twist again. Well, that's all one video to you, but it's in pieces. But that's basically where we're at with this, and when it's cool, I'll take the weight off, and you can see how we did. All right, guys. Mike from Boy and Gals. Guys is all inclusive now. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. And then we're going to take it over to the same flat surface we used before, i.e. the truck bed, and we'll see how we did. Bring you over here, guys. Sorry for the quick movement. And yeah, that's a lot better. Alright, let's come over here into the different light. And you can see I had the clamp on here, right where the oil looks like wet here and then dry here. And it is a lot better from there down through the end of the bow. It's nice and flat the whole way. The area where I didn't have it clamped still has a little bit, this area in here still isn't quite untwisted, but I'm thinking this is kind of a fade out. I might be able to carve that away enough to get it right where I want it. Let's look down the bow and see if we can see anything there. I mean, that looks, there it is. There, straighten it out for you. Sorry, I'm looking in one camera and down my arm at the same time. That's pretty flat. The handle looks a little twisted, but that may just be something to carve out. But now it looks like most of, if not all, the twist is gone. There might be a little twist still in this limb here that I'll work to get rid of, but I can do that later. The answer now it becomes, how am I going to get that bend out? And I do it pretty much the same way, but without the bucket and the wrench. So let's go to that portion of the show.